and it was meant to be. All right, so welcome everyone to the Knowledge Happy Hour, and this is our 9th episode. And yes, I'm calling it episode because it feels like a daily show every day. Today, you know that in Knowledge Happy Hour, we come together and share knowledge on different topics. Today, I have a very, very special guest with me, Anita. Welcome, Anita.
Sonia.
So just a little introduction about Anita, and of course you'll get to know more about her because today she's going to share an interesting topic which is inspired by her story. So you'll get to know more about her. But there are many things about Anita, so I can go on. I'm the worst person to give her introduction because it will take forever. That's why I asked, that give me bullet points. So just to let you all know, Anita has more than 16 years of experience and she has worked in of professional career, and she has worked in many roles. She's an MBA in finance. Yes, you never guessed it. And she has worked in insurance. She has worked in customer service, a huge, experience in NGO, working in NGOs, travel and tourism. And then, yes, she's also an image consultant and practicing image consultant. In fact, we go as, back together. Our journey started together as an image consultant. And when we started studying it together. Till today, Anita has trained and worked with more than 1,000 plus professionals and individuals, even trained a lot of companies and institutions. Not only that, Anita is also, a lot of you who are audience today know that she's the senior faculty in Indian School of Image Management. And yes, and above all of it, Anita is, I would say that a very, one of the rare people who are great human beings. So yeah. So over to you, Anita, because otherwise you'll have to put a stop to me with your introduction and I will, eat up your presentation
Thank you
hours.
so much, Sonia, for that wonderful, introduction. I was just hoping that she will stop, otherwise she can go on and on and on. Of course, I took time to get into this 9th episode because of my internet connection again. So to start with, I wanted everyone to have a very honest conversation today with me, because this is a very, very, very important topic. Not many people are comfortable. Not many people are actually, open to discuss this topic. Maybe, they're pretty much okay to discuss this with their near and dear one, but not with everyone. So if you anytime feel that you feel like sharing your journey or your experience on this topic with me, with us, you're most welcome. Or off chat also, like, off online, you wanted to share something about your journey on this path, you're most welcome. Right? So I'm hoping that we'll have an honest conversation while I'm taking you through, this presentation. And you must be like, wondering, why this topic has come up in my mind. I got a very end moment in, intimation from Sonia that I should go and do this training, right? And major part of my actually, journey started with taking into consideration body image, and that's how I got into this profession of image consultant, right? So before I begin, I wanted to actually start with a story of mine, and for that you have to go back to early 80s, right? So back in early 80s, when it was a tradition of having a son who will ultimately take care of your family. I was actually born as a second girl child in my family, and me, my dad being the eldest son, so they call it ghar ka bada beta. Everyone expecting my dad to have at least one son to actually take the legacy ahead. But to everyone's surprise, the second girl child has arrived. And my mom always share this story, with me, that how I've been like neglected, or probably I have been like, treated by my immediate family members. I was, born as a girl child. And to top it off, my cousin, my uncle and auntie's first son has arrived just after 15-20 days of my birth. So obviously you can imagine my situation. But the until I started growing up and I realized things started making sense to me. I could feel that people are started calling me by names, and it has got a like great impact on me and my presence. So of course, if you see, many people have asked me, "Are you from Northeast, or are you from from that region?" Because of my flat nose, so people used to call me Nakchapti. So Nakchapti is basically flattened nose, and also because of my dark skin, people used to call me Kali. But it has got like a great impact in my like entire appearance. And for a long time in my life, for about like 20-22 years, it has impacted me. And I always used to feel that beauty standard is actually if you have like a fair skin, or probably if you're tall, or if you're in a certain standard, as we all are like kind of like go by the beauty standards of our society, or beauty standards of by our media driven. So yeah, that's my journey. Having said that, it hasn't stopped yet, but now I'm very much kind of like in a confident presence, confident about my appearance. And um, and yeah, things have not changed the same way. Very recently, I would want to share a story, again, a small story with you, that we were visiting, me and my husband were visiting the one of our family friend. And then to our surprise, there was a person who said, "Oh, how can you find such a handsome person as your husband?" I said, "What does that mean?" Right? So people always feel that, okay, fine, if only if you're pretty, you will find someone who's prettier than you, or probably as compatible with you. But what people don't see is actually beauty or your existence are beyond these aesthetic things, right? So having said that, I will come back to our topic, which is body image and handling body shaming, right? So let me just ask you ask everyone, have you ever gone through this kind of um, situations or experience in your life? I'll just give you like a few seconds to think about it. I'm sure, if not many of us, if not, most of us, but at least some of us, has experienced these kind of things in our life.
I have. I'll start. A lot of time, not once, a lot of time. And we are getting a lot of people in the audience saying yes. So
Right. So we are, it doesn't matter, what gender you are. Probably, gone are the days where it was only restricted to women's existence, or only restricted to women issues. But now, be it men, be it boys, be it any age categories, people are constantly getting bullied, or constantly, getting kind of like body shamed for different reason. So this particular slide of mine will probably give you kind of a gist of things that we keep on getting from people around us. Aren't you too fat, right? Or uh, don't you think you should not wear that kind of dress? Or probably you're too thin, or probably you're too dark. Why don't you just apply, or why don't you just try out that uh, the compact of, or for that matter that particular brand product? If you put those anti-tan cream, you will get like a fair skin. So all these kind of things, it and sometimes, or probably like most of the times, it doesn't come from the people whom we love, but it comes from our unexpected, like maybe it's our friends. But it leads to our self-critics, it leads to our own imagination, and then we started kind of contemplating of about our existence, right? So let me just ask you, what is body image then? So body image is basically how you see, or how you perceive about your body, about your existence. When I'm saying existence, it could be your outer appearance mostly. It could be positive image, it could be negative image, which result to a perception. So this perception is basically about you, or you perceive about someone else's image, right? How body shaming, what is body shaming then? Body shaming is then, depending on that body image, we get very critical about certain existence, or we get critical about our own aspects of physical appearance. We get into that critical about every body parts, or probably our size, probably our skin color, probably and the way we fit into a clothing. That is where the body shaming happens, or that is where the body shaming comes from, right? So what happens that leads to not having a body positivity? Most of us are a victim of not having a body positivity. Even if we are having a good health, even if we are leading a good life, still there is a self doubt comes in as and when, depending on the body that we have. Okay, so what is that leads to not having a positive body? What are the different factors which comes to in your mind when you feel that, okay, fine, I'm not feeling good about my body positivity? Reason. So let me just ask you, what are the factors that you feel which influences your body image?
So we are getting social media, media, fashion. Let me see more comments. Yeah, our friends,
Yes.
people, yes. So
Yeah.
those kind of comments, yes.
Sure. So let me just start with this. As I shared with the story with you, it starts with the very first comparison starts with yourself, and then with your family. Okay. So if you see, this is a very, very, very powerful and very strong image, I would say. A child who kind of tends to idolize their parents or idolize their immediate family members, they feel the way their parents are actually kind of seeing their body, or idolizing that, okay, fine, we should have this kind of body types, or idolizing or being so critic in terms of how they should look. It starts with the family. So the child is saying, mommy, I'm watching you, right? That means that they have been in a situation where they've been idolizing you, they've been seeing you, they've been very seeing you being so critic. So if you see that person or the lady in actual, she's absolutely fine. She might be having a very good health, she might be having leading a very good life, but the way she is actually looking at mirror and making her feel herself in terms of, oh, I have put on so much of weight, or probably I'm not looking that great, it has got a strong impact and a substantial effect on that child. And that is how the child starts growing, or seeing how a particular body should have, or the standard of a body, ideal body should be like this. So it starts with the family first, and then if you see, the other factors which influences your body image is actually the self critics. You've been constantly telling yourself, oh, I should be I should be little thin to wear that kind of dress, or I should be I should let me just reduce the weight a little bit and I'll wear that dress. Oh, why don't I just look like her? Why don't I why don't I have a straight hair like her? Or why don't I have a curly hair like her? So it starts with family, then it goes to your self criticism, and of course, thanks to social media. So talking about social media, it has got, now everyone is, the social media is on our fingertips. Okay. And we all are victim of social media, be it the influencers, you find it, or you're following in the social media, or the kind of images that you see, and for that matter, all the filters that you use in your Instagram, in your, I'm not saying I don't use it, I also use it, right? But I'm saying these things are impacting people. These things are impacting us in terms of how we should, see our body image. Then all these ads, it wasn't, stopping till, and only restricted to women. It has now gone into men, how they should have like a clear complexion, how they should have a, fair complexion. So the advertisement that we are constantly bombarding with, and of course the society has got a tremendous impact the way we see our body image. So just to give you an example, of course I am I have a I had a love marriage, so for me it wasn't a problem. But I have seen many of my girls who are like, uh, in my friend circle, they have been constantly, bullying in terms of, oh, don't eat so much, because then you will become fat, you won't get a perfect or suitable guy. Or probably, don't go out so much in the sun, you'll become dark, you'll be a, you won't get a suitable husband. So it is the society constantly putting pressures on you. That auntie which come, visited your house, probably said so many times, that uncle who must have, come to your, oh beta, don't do this, it doesn't suit your body types. Or probably, why don't you just, join a gym, you will lose, or you will shed out some weight. So society is a constant factor which creates or influences our body image. And all the glamour world, be it your television, be it's our fashion magazines, be it's our fashion world, the ramp. All these people are actually kind of like affecting us in terms of thinking how a particular body standard should be. Okay. So let's look at some of the statistics in terms of how we should be affected by all these statistics.
I guess Anita, I guess she dropped out. Let me see if I can get her back again. Can you all hear her, or it's just my end? If you can just write a comment.
Where did I lose you, Sonia?
Okay, so you had just started looking at some statistics. So you were sharing some
Okay.
statistics with
Okay. So I'm saying let's just let's just look at this statistics in terms of how people are affected by all these factors. Maybe it's somewhere, ups and down. Probably like, women are more affected by the social media as compared to the men. Uh, so women are most affected by social media, TV, movies, significant others, family, and then self, of course, and internet interactions, friends, and then looking at the mirror. So these are the few of the statistics which will give you in terms of idea how people are getting affected by these factors. And this has, the study has been done on the population of, all those American people, where people have the population of 1 lakh, they have done a research on that. So when you talk about all these statistics, it's kind of quite alarming that how we should not pay attention to social media. We should not pay attention to all these movies, all these societies or family factors which are around us. Because when you talk about all these statistics, you would understand that um, even if you don't want to get influenced by this, but ultimately you are getting influenced by all these factors. And ultimately it is actually the major factors which you, if you are getting affected by the health, then you should go into changing your appearance. But most of the people don't think that, okay, they're not thinking in terms of their health wise, but they're mostly thinking in terms of aesthetics wise. And that's why the problem, arise, where you are mostly driven by all these external factors and not the internal factor. So as an and also as an image consultant, I understood this, after a very long battle, that it is also important to take care of your inner health or inner voice or inner appearance as compared to your outer. I'm not denying that outer appearance is not important, or the way you look, or the way you kind of come across, it's not important. But it is very important to think in the perspectives of how healthy you are, or how kind of like the person you are from inside, it should reflect outside, not the other way around. So body image is far more than just a woman's issue. I've already made this clear in my initial at the start, that it is no more a woman issues, it's no more a girls issues, it's far more than that. So if you talk about the teenage, if you talk, I'm just putting it in a categories, where I'm talking about is actually in the categories wise. So it could be teenage boys and girls, it could be actually men, and it could be actually children. So if you talk about teenage, let me just give you certain factors. So teenage is such an age where people are mostly confused in terms of how they should come across, how they should possess in terms of their entire appearance. And this is a very, because it's a very confusing age, people can easily get influenced by the standards which has been set by our society, which has been set by all these social media. So this is a very crucial age for the parents. I'm of course not a parent, but I have gone through, or I have worked with many of the parents who have shown or who have told me about this kind of situations where the child is very critical when it comes to how they should appear. So for that matter, when it comes to actually talking about their appearance, they feel, I should look like that particular person, or I should look like that particular actor or actress. Why? Because they have been idolizing these public figure, the way they are coming across to us, the way they actually have the fan following they want. So this is most to do with the peer pressure they have, the acceptance they wanted in their friend circle. It comes from there. And teenage is the age that where people can get easily influenced by others and by all these beauty standards. Talking about men, it's very true that men are equally affected, men are equally criticized, or equally being critical about their entire appearance. So they also feel bad when you ask them to shed out weight. They equally feel bad when you say, oh, you are so thin. Or they for that matter, the hair, the skin, the body parts, they feel equally bad about it. So recently, if you all have like watched this movie called Bala. So things are changing, but people are actually addressing those kind of issues, but men do feel bad about all these factors around them. Then coming to children, I've already mentioned that children are mostly affected by the family, but look at the things which are available to them. So it starts with as simple as a Barbie doll. So talking about Barbie doll, most of the Barbie dolls till 2016 are those skinny, thin, long, tall Barbie doll used to come. The blue eye Barbie doll used to come. Until recently, in 2006, the first curvaceous Barbie doll has been released by the metal, right? So talking about these kind of standards, when you have even the doll has got like a beauty standards, how can you expect your child to actually not having these uh, kind of like issues, or probably acceptance of the beauty standards? They see you in terms of struggling with body shaming. They see you in terms of how you actually consider your body, going into crash diet, or having a strict diet following at home. So obviously all these people are actually getting into a zone, or the children are the most affected, or the teenagers are most affected when it comes to body issues or body shaming. There are certain way that you can figure out this, if your child are going through this. So the very first thing, probably the child is actually showing you symptoms in terms of comparing them with others. So that's the first symptoms you can actually figure out. I would also share a story, with you. Recently, I had actually gone to a birthday party, and to my surprise, I saw a little girl who was trying my heels. So I went to her and I asked her, why are you trying my heels? So she said, Auntie, I wanted to look tall. I wanted to look actually, pretty like I think she has mentioned one of the heroine, but she said, I wanted to look like that. I said, why? You're so pretty. Why do you have to look like that? Oh no, do you know how much fan following she has? I was surprised. So, let me tell you these things. It starts with a very early age, and you have to find these symptoms. You have to talk to them and look at all these symptoms when you talk to your child. So, symptom as simple as that, maybe eating disorder, right? They don't eat because they feel they'll become fat. They probably don't try out certain clothing thinking that, oh, people will make fun of them. So or it could be as simple as that, the rebellious behavior. So child get affected by these factors. And also it's our duty to become a role model, start talking to them, making them comfortable the way they are, start appreciating in terms of how they are special beyond their appearance. Maybe kind of like treating them for their achievements, treating their achievements beyond their appearance. So I was watching this beauty pageant for children. Seeing that beauty pageant, it kind of like breaks my heart. Why do we have to put them in a situation where they have to kind of like grill in this situation? They have this constant kind of like pressures of looking good. And according to me, it's completely my experience, or probably I'm coming out of my experience. Children should not should not be put into this kind of situation where they're actually competing with each other on their appearance based. They can compete on their other aspects in terms of how well they are, or how good they are in the sports, or how they how good they are when it comes to singing or any extracurricular activities, but not in the basis of appearance, not in the basis of this false beauty standard, right? So having said that, having so much of negativity, uh, we might blame the Bollywoods, or we might blame the glamorous world, but there are also cases where there is no escape for, even if it is for Bollywood. So talking about, everyone would agree or probably have read the journey of Vidya Balan. So she has been trolled for her heavy weight. There are people who have been trolled for different other aspects of body shaming. So if I talk about uh, this person, so he has been rejected for his average look. And then if I talk about Kunkna Sen, she has been rejected for her dark skin. So even Bollywood are not sparing all these people who are like well established now. They are kind of like made their mark in their industries, but still talking about being trolled. So if I have to name few, Sonakshi Sinha, she has been trolled recently for her body weight. If I talk about Zareen Khan, also being trolled about her body weight. Talking about Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, he also has been trolled about being too tall, or for about about his voice. So all these people, even if they had made their mark, of course now people are not talking, but everyone has been driven by these body standard which has been set by Bollywood, and they have been trolled for different reasons, be it their weight, be it their average look, be it their darker skin. Everyone has been trolled. There's no escape for that, right? So when you talk about body shaming or negative body image, it is more dangerous than you think. Okay, it has got tremendous effect on the way we think, the way we actually, it affect our self-esteem. It affect the way we actually kind of like have our world around us. And having said that, it goes into that kind of zone where you would start thinking that your self-worth is not, or your existence is actually not worth here. Okay, so what does body shaming lead to? Okay, it can lead to criticism. So criticism could be your self-criticism. It could be criticism about others. It could be criticism about others, in their presence, or when they are not around. So so just to give an example, that when you talk about self-criticism, you say, "Oh, do I look fat? Do you really think I can try that dress out?" This is like self-criticism. I don't think I'm comfortable trying out that dress. Or if I say that, if I talk about these factors, it could lead to your judgment or doubts about others. It could also lead to stress. And when you talk about stress, it could put you in a position to perform, or it could put you in a position to actually be at a certain standard. So ultimately, what it does, it actually puts you in a position where you are trying to doubt yourself and creating low self-esteem around you. Okay, and then fear of acceptance, acceptance in your society, fear of acceptance in your peer group, and then it is actually ultimately goes to your existential crisis. So when I talk about all these factors which influences your body image, but I'm not denying things are not changing. Things are changing. So if you talk about the beauty pageant which has happened last year. So Miss Universe Zosbani has said, if I grew up while I am growing up in a world where things like skin color like her, or probably the hair like her, has not been getting the acceptance, but still she feels that things are changing. The way people are accepting all standard of beauties, things are changing. If you talk about things are changing in terms of how things are changing when it comes to the models, the fashion worlds, right? So that's actually, Graham, where she is a very famous plus size models in the industry, and she had made sure that she will change these body standards or the beauty standards, which is actually, existing in the beauty world. And if you go and search for her, you'll find that she has actually got a, Barbie doll made as per her body curves, and she insisted that my thighs should be touched to each other, because that's how the average ladies or average women are, right? Things are changing, in a very way that if you talk about the mannequin which are being placed now in most of the outlets, the plus size mannequins, right? So now coming back, how you should deal with, so we have spoken about these body shaming, we have spoken about how we are all affected, but how to deal with this body shaming, right? So you have to think positive about yourself. You have to think positive about your existence. And that will only happen when you take care of actually these factors. So what are these factors which will actually give you body positivity? The very first thing when I talk about, to my clients or to my friends, take care of your body. Be it involving in exercise, be it involving in meditations, be it in, going out for a spa treat. It all factors to a point where your mind, your body is actually calm. It's accepting the way they are. Don't go for exercise if you feel that, or you wanted to have this perfect body inch loss, or probably like weight loss, only for the aesthetic point of view, but go for a healthy body. And I always tell my friends, I don't want to spend my money in actually in medical bills, right? So start applying the healthy habit. We are in a situation right now where we are actually kind of like confused, doubtful. But having said that, I have not stopped my exercise, routine. And I hate, when people say, oh, because you wanted to, get slim, that's why you are getting into exercise. No, it's for me being healthy, right? So please, my urge to everyone that get into any kind of activities, be it like, 10 minutes walk or 15 minutes, yoga or exercise, do it. It will transform the way that you think about your body. And then stop looking at those fashion magazines. They are not real. If you have gone and if you are seeing Sonam Kapoor's, uh, confession about these beauty standards, they are being standards which are like false standards. She told to the media that it takes about like 3 hours, 4 hours of a constant putting those makeups and the corrections, the photoshops, everything. Stop looking at the magazines. It will not going to help you out. They are getting paid for it, we are not, right? Stop looking at those social media standards. And when I'm saying stop looking at social media standards, I'm only meant, I kind of like meant that stop looking at something which will make you feel negative about your body image. But having said that, do follow people who are having a healthy lifestyle. Do follow people who are actually, giving you kind of like boost to create a healthy and positive atmosphere around you. Okay, so stop following blindly these media standards. And the very important, the step 3, which comes to the factor which gives you body positivity, is having practicing a positive body affirmation. Tell yourself that how beautiful you are. Tell yourself, I know, most of our students will agree, and they have gone through this process where we had asked them to actually practice it at home when they have to write affirmation. I tell my students that, or I tell my friends that, write down what you like about your body. Write down, what you feel, that what, where you are comfortable, any body features, your achievement. Tell your body that, I'm the way it is, I'm loving it. The way it is, I'm not kind of liking it. And then the last step, which is surround yourself with a positive body, positive people around you, because negativity or negative people will not take you anywhere. So recently, when I was actually attending one of the speakers, uh, this episode, where she has mentioned, you have to filter people. You have to take out the negative people out of your systems. Do that, because I agree. You need some, sometimes these criticisms, from your families or from your, till the time it is constructive, take it. But the moment it starts affecting your entire existence, entire thinking process, stop that negativity. Okay. So remember, we are always too skinny, or probably like too fat, too tall, or too short for people. They will never change. They will never change. So it's our duty, or it's us to understand that the way we are, we are not going to shaming us. We have to accept our body the way I am. I can't do anything about my flat nose. I have to deal with it, right? So I've started accepting. So my friends make, they make joke out of it, in terms of how, when I traveled to Thailand and people started talking to me in Thais, right? Because of my look. But I'm pretty much happy with the way it, goes with me. So always remember that your body is not wrong. Society is. Okay. So when you say, when you think in that perspective, people will start loving you the moment you start loving yourself. So that brings to us our end of the presentation of mine. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer that. Sonia?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm right here.
sure.
All right. That was a wonderful session, and I've been just so intrigued looking at all the comments that we have been getting. It's just mind blowing, and people are, yes, a lot of them are students, so they have gone through this process, and we have talked about body image. I think that's one of the first classes, because we start with that aspect that you
Yes.
have to start loving your body. And yeah, the entire session was just kind of, a trip down the memory lane for me.
I agree, and for most of us, it has taken back. While I was making this presentation, I had gone back to the things that I have gone through,
Great.
and yeah,
So yes, it is just like completely like that only, like so many memories about body shaming, which um, I am someone who just kind of brush off things and just move on. But then still, when you talk about it, then you realize that wow, means so many things have come to you and
yes,
has affected you. So people are really loving the session and they are just in sync with whatever you were saying. I would still, if anybody has any questions, I would still, urge you to write it down, to ask Anita anything that you want in particular. But yes, one of the things that you said, and to add on to that, these words that we use, and we talk about body shaming and, we talk about body image, but somewhere we don't realize that in a subconscious basis, we are also, contributing to it. So knowingly, unknowingly, when we are around, and especially kids, they are so, impressionable, that when
right,
we just very casually say, oh, she's too fat, or oh, she's too skinny, they pick up that word immediately. So somewhere
yeah,
we are also responsible of choosing our words very wisely, especially in front of kids
children, yeah,
or anybody who is in that age, teenagers, because
yeah,
they then, on the basis of how our tone, our expression, on the basis of that, they actually pick up that what is right and what is wrong. And
true, very true.
yeah, and I remember one of these, like, I spoke to my mom and told her about that we are discussing body shaming, and she told me something really funny. So she told me, as a baby, one of our relatives used to call me pig faced. I
Yeah,
was a baby, so I don't remember. And I was like, okay, pig has like this, pouty lips and people are going for it. So it's cute. And I like a cute face. But my mom, she was saying I was so upset, and she was sharing about it, that, she was so upset about the whole bit, that one person, and everyone used to find, babies are usually cute. So all babies are cute. So everyone used to
yeah.
find cute. And then this one person came up and said, your baby is pig face. And she was like, she still remembers it. So she said that yeah, it impacts a lot, and it just kind of
And
gives.
sometimes we don't have answers to our kids, what to explain, because we have been practicing that.
Right.
So as of course, things have changed. Me being an image consultant, I could now say that, I'm very much aware in terms of, and I would urge everyone to actually think that way, that how beauty or probably our appearance are beyond that outer, image that we have. But not many people know how to deal with these things,
Yes,
when to kids.
absolutely.
And yeah, and
Absolutely.
being a mom, they are clueless what to answer, because they have been
So true.
seeing this.
So true. So Anita, if you can just, like, my question, if, or not question, if you can just quickly give everyone just one way, and even if yes, we are practicing on a daily basis and we are aware about it, but just ways to celebrate our bodies every single day. What are, if you can just share, maybe 3 or 4 ways of just quickly, and something that you don't have to specially plan and do. It could be just simply as, stopping by at any reflection and just saying you're gorgeous or you're handsome or something like that. So anything, any ways that people can really celebrate their
Uh,
bodies.
See, what I do, I always think about the compliments that I have got.
Mhm.
And I think I have shared these things with you. So back in 2009, when I joined my Facebook, most of the people got confused whether I'm the same Anita. Okay. And so whenever I am in a doubt, and when they, I used to get these comments, oh, are you the same Anita, or you look so different, and different in a way that, these are the same people who had actually rejected me in my past. So I always think about those instances where people have started accepting me the way I am right now. Maybe I tell myself I'm bold, I'm beautiful. So you have to constantly kind of like, remind yourself that you how beautiful or how bold you are, or how sexy you are for that matter. But you have to constantly remind yourself that your existence is beyond all these aspects. So jim- just constantly tell yourself, oh, these are the instances where it had cheered you up, or probably put you in a situation, oh, I'm bold, or I'm beautiful. So that constant thinking of, and then the very first thing that you have to do is comfortable be in your skin. You
Mm.
have to be comfortable, you have to start accepting. So that's the quickest thing that you can actually accept. And you can think that what are the things you like about your body. So when I say, when I say a thing, it could be as basic as the way you dress. So someone says that, oh, you are impeccably dressed, or you are very smart in your appearance. So these are the things which are kind of adjectives and which stays in your mind. And
Right.
I feel if you practice this, you really don't need to go into affirmation, but if you just remind yourself, constant remind about these existence or these instance, they will put you in a position where your self-doubt will actually kind of like disappear.
That's great. That's a great advice. We got a question from Reena. She's saying, I'm a person that taunt back everyone who criticizes me. Is that a good thing?
Rina, if you can make it as a constructive, kind of like, if you take it as in a
Constructive
constructive way,
feedback.
then probably you will not feel bad about it, right? Remember, if they are criticizing you, is it affecting you in terms of, I don't know what kind of criticism that you get, but like for example, for a very long time in last couple of years, people started telling me, oh, you have put on so much of weight. I've actually gone from extra small to extra large. But only the time when I realized it's actually affecting my health, actually started getting into this breathing issues because of the weight issues. So the moment I realized it is actually affecting my health, I took that criticism as a constructive way. Till that time, I was feeling very kind of very uh, like low about people's opinion. So you have to think that whatever criticism is coming to you, whether it is actually coming to you, and also the sources from where it is coming. If it's coming just to make you feel bad, ignore it. But if it's coming actually, if they are concerned about you, if they are the people who are your loved one, take this criticism and work it out and show them that okay, fine, I'm going to do it.
Right. Just to add on to that, also, Reena, that one of the things that I always say, and this not just for body image, this is for everything, that if somebody criticizes you for anything and you do it back, you are no less than them. You are being them only. So just don't become them. You are better than that. So maybe that's a time, where you need to decide that do you want to step back and be a better person, or you want to become them and just reply or respond to them. So sometimes it's just you need to choose your battles, as we say. So don't participate and don't become one of them who are always criticizing and trying to pull other people down. So that's not just for body shaming, it's just for everything. That's my way of dealing with such issues. We have another question that is from Ashwin. And Ashwin asked, are people who fit society's beauty and appearance ideals less likely to experience negative body image?
Um, I think yes, but I mean, I have never experienced that because I all the people or all the clients that I have worked so far, they have come up with some kind of issues. Probably these are the people who don't show. They might be there, fighting their own battle.
I would disagree with that, Anita. I can start the list and then, it can just go on. I have experienced it with such amazing, beautiful, good looking people. In fact, in the class means when we are, and I'm taking the class and we have such gorgeous and handsome bunch of people. A tribe is so beautiful.
Yeah, as I
And
said,
then,
they might be like battling their own battle, but it's just that sometimes people show it, or sometimes people keep it to their end, and they kind of like, and
I would say
also
the degree would
especially
be more or less like maybe the people who kind of fit the standards, they would get it or receive it a little bit lesser than the ones who do not fit the ideal. I would,
yeah.
yeah. You were saying something, sorry.
No, no. So I was saying, the same thing, that they, especially I've seen this, with men. Men find it a little kind of like awkward when it comes to actually accepting that, or probably expressing their body, at least the body shaming or body issues.
Yeah.
I,
No,
I have experienced all my male client, they don't open up, at least in the first couple of meetings. So
right.
but ultimately when you actually get into their personal zone and get into their doing their wardrobe, they say, oh, and when the question arrives, why didn't you wear these clothes, I don't feel comfortable, or I don't feel good, or who are your idols? So then they come up with their own idol in their mind. So men find it a little kind of like
Yeah.
difficult to express. Yeah,
True. True.
and that's my.
Ocean asked, can you please suggest me some response to people who ask my daughter, why are you so thin, or something like that? Just stop then. I think you have already said that you.
Tell, your daughter is so pretty, so active, and she's so smart. I have been, following her, entire video series. To her age, at the age of 4, that kind of stuff she's doing, she's gorgeous, she's awesome. You have to, feed these things.
Yeah.
Ocean, I believe, like, you have also, being thin, or the leaner part most of your, life. But had it been that situation, it never, like, be a hindrance in your career, or never been a hindrance, you, the person you are. So tell the way your daughter is, I'm absolutely fine. She doesn't have any problem. I don't have any problem.
Right. Right.
Go
Yeah.
and blast.
Or you can also say, like, use a lot of different statements. You can also say, yes, she's thin and she's smart and she can do this and she can do this.
Yes.
You want to see this video?
Yes.
Check this out, what she's doing on Facebook. Can your daughter?
Yes.
No, don't go
Have
that
you seen?
bad.
Yes, you can
Yes,
tell. Have you seen our videos?
yes,
And
show that. She's thin
I'm
and
assuming
she
all those people.
does this. So go
Exactly.
ahead and do that.
And I'm assuming all these people who are making statements, they have never come across, or they've never gone live. So tell them, it takes guts to come live and showcase your talent. So my
Right,
daughter is doing that.
right. Uh, Anita, on another question, and this is not from audience, this is not a question exactly, but I maybe want you to address this.
Yes,
Now,
please.
because we are talking about body positivity for a very long time, I have also started seeing a trend where now body positivity is becoming an excuse for being unhealthy. And it's just so much that it is having health, people are having health concerns and being unhealthy, so they're getting diseases and everything, and they're just calling it that, oh, it's body positivity. So yes, I
Yes.
understand that there is you need to accept your body, but then not on the cost of your health. So how
Yes.
would you address that? Like, what would you want people to know about?
Yes. So I know, of course, with the age, your body will change. With the age, you are not the same person in your 20s, or the 30s. It will change. You have to accept somewhere, even if you are making it an excuse, oh, I'm very comfortable in my skin, but that should not be excuses at the cost of your health, or at the cost of your mental well-being. So somewhere it's going to affect you, somewhere it's going to affect the way you live, somewhere it's going to affect the way you treat people. So you have to have a healthy life, no matter, even if you are on a heavier scale, or your BMI is high, but if you are having an active life, you have. So what I suggest my all clients, after 30s, a yearly body checkup is mandatory. If you find any kind of reason for you to take any kind of measurements in terms of going for exercise, going for diet, or going for any kind of lifestyle changes, you need to do that. You can't give that kind of excuses,
Yeah.
because you have to accept the fact that body will is beyond your thinking, or beyond your positive image. The positive image is, it's actually kind of like a circle where it comes from your health, come from the way you actually act, and come from the circle where you feel that, okay, fine, everything is around me is actually making me feel like a healthy person. So you have to accept the fact that you can't give excuses on these terms. So
Yeah.
I urge everyone, go for a healthy lifestyle. Be it's like getting up, getting good sleeps, be it's actually uh, getting into any kind of exercise. So you can't give excuses. Oh, I travel so much in my work. I travel or I work for like so long hours. I can't go for exercise. That should not be an excuses.
True. True. Yeah. So that was a great session, Anita. I think you need to go, and I can't really read out each and every one to you, the comments, but they are so amazing. People are
Thank
just,
you so much.
they are loving the session. They are in sync with what we are saying. They are just, yeah, they are in love with the session, and they are just enjoying it. So please take out time after the session.
Sure.
Go to the comment section, reply to everyone. If you have further questions, you know how to reach Anita. She's very accessible to all of you, especially. So, yes, please reach out to her and she would be happy to answer your question. So, thank you, Anita, once again.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for having me and having this wonderful knowledge sharing platform where people are actually getting benefited in such an amazing way. So I hope we'll have more such session, even if that lockdown will be over.
Yes, so we'll try to do our best. I think we have more time right now, so we're just utilizing it. But yes, I think people are loving it, so we would try to continue it as much as possible. So thank you, everyone, for attending today. Now, before I wrap up, yes, tomorrow we are going to have another interesting session, and I'm going to be joined by two really, really gorgeous women, Nidhi Bharadwaj and Sunita Singh. Both are alumni of ISIM, Indian School of Image Management, but that's not the only designation that they have. They have great amount of experience in the beauty and salon industry, and that's why they are going to be. So they will be sharing their knowledge from the grooming trends of 2020, and also we're going to be talking about grooming in the current scenario that we are in. And yes, so same time, 7:30 p.m. And before I leave, one parting thought: love your body because it's yours, not anybody else. Okay, so see you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m.
Thank
and
you,
same
everyone.
time, same place. Thank you. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
everyone.